This is Rachel Dworkin from the Chemung County Historical Society. Today is June 18th, 2020, and I am here interviewing
Michele Johnson, CEO of YWCA Elmira and the Twin Tiers.
Okay, this is for the COVID Memory Project, so we're going to be talking primarily about COVID. How has the YWCA adapted to the pandemic and the shutdown?
Well, we actually went right into emergency mode. Schools were closed, and as the largest child care provider in the county, we had to find a way to continue to take care of children. So we closed our 16 sites outside of the building and focused on just running one site in the building. So we, on March 16th, when school closed, we closed our building to the public, and we have been running just child care since March 17th.
Okay, so about how many kids are you caring for?
We are working towards 70. It is half of our capacity in the building to maintain social distancing and to be able to sanitize between groups as they rotate through the building.
And how did you decide who's going to continue to get that child care?
It was really first come, first serve. As soon as the announcement was made the school was going to close, people started calling us frantically. And so during the school closure, we had about 25 a day. And that was right at the height of it when people were very afraid of what they didn't know. We, as of June 1st, have ramped up to, we have 50 and our capacity is 70. So it's really just first come, first serve. We let people know we were here. We did notify, we serve about 725 a day. We did notify them as soon as everything shut down that we were there for them if they needed care. So at this point, it's just people that have been in our program that are now, however many months in we are, looking for another alternative for their children.
Okay. So what services do you normally offer in addition to child care?
So on a normal basis, we have the only indoor heated pool in Elmira, and that's a public pool. So that is primarily during the day senior citizens and then families in the evening. So we in the building, we also have a universal pre-K. So it's a contract with the school district, so it's an actual preschool in the building. We have a Pink Boutique, which is a center for breast cancer patients. We have the only certified mastectomy fitter in the Twin Tiers. And so she works with a compromised population, women who have breast cancer. We have a mentoring youth services department that does mentoring in the high schools. And we run a consignment shop, Lovely Shop 2, which is at a separate location, but that is one of our primary departments.
And all of that except the child care is closed?
Closed that day.
Okay.
Yes.
So I imagine you employ quite a number of people normally. How many people do you employ?
We have 130 people on staff.
And what has become of them?
We have 120 people on unemployment. And we have 10 people in the building rotating, taking care of the kids and keeping the building clean and sanitized.
Okay. So do you have a plan for getting them re-employed once the state says that you can start doing that?
Yes. So luckily for us, most of our staff are childcare staff, and their contract ends at the end of June when school closes. And so they don't work for us in July and August. So our staffing really goes down to, in the summer, about the 10 we have, and then September 1st. We add everyone back. So our plan is to still add those same people back in September for the school year.
Assuming the schools are up
Yes.
and running. Okay.
Yes.
How has this impacted you guys financially?
Financially, we went from, and all of our revenue comes from childcare. We don't get any state or local funding, so we are fee for service. So as of March 16th, we had to stop charging for childcare at 720 kids a day. And we went down to 20 kids a day. And now in the summer, we'll be at 70 in the building, when usually in the summer we have about 210. So revenue has dropped more than 50%. And We're just doing the best we can. We've luckily been able to. Many of our children are they get subsidy through the county, so they get DSS funding, and so that's been a steady stream, and that's been enough to pay everyone's salaries and keep the lights on.
Okay, do you have a plan for, getting additional outside funding, or are you just chugging along with what you've got?
We actually did apply for the through the CARES Act, the SBA payroll protection loan, and so we did get that, and we didn't. Well, we got the payroll protection money, but we didn't have any staff because they were already out and on unemployment. So we are actually we just got an extension on that. Everyone got an extension on that. So we have until school starts again to use that money. So we'll use that to start the school year. So we will be able to pay staff in the fall. So we've been good. We've been lucky.
Okay. Do you have anything else to add about how the pandemic has affected the Y?
I think as a public facility, it's really, I can see how if we hadn't planned ahead and if I wasn't an accountant by first degree, how we would close. I'm sure there's many businesses just close. It's just your revenue stops. Your population stops, and there's nothing left for you to serve the community.
So you said you had a plan already. Did you have like a emergency preparedness plan for that?
We actually created one as soon as because we're part of the school district information stream, we knew school was going to close, so we immediately put together a plan on how long we could last and how we could incrementally close if we needed to. So we did have a plan that we put together in probably 24 hours, but it's worked well, and it's actually a plan that I've shared with. I'm also the president of YWCAs of New York State, and there are 20 of us. I've shared our plan. I originally, as soon as I made my plan, I shared it with the other YWCAs, and all 20 of us in the state have been able to stay open and keep all of our services for everyone that needed them throughout the pandemic.
Okay. So one of the mission statements of the YWCA is to fight racism. Right now, there are a series of protest movements across the nation also with that goal. How have you as an organization or you as an individual been involved in that?
I think both, at this point, I feel like I am the organization. Everything is kind of all joined together. But as a Black woman, I've been involved on a personal basis since the beginning. And for the YWCA, as our mission is to eliminate racism, we have been trying to find a way to introduce that to our community in a way that's receptive. We've done some kind of racial justice programming in the past that hasn't been receptive, and so my goal has always been to try to find a way to educate the community in a way that they will accept and kind of have people understand racism does exist. So what we've done is created a YWCA Diversity Council, and we just kicked it off this month. And the goal is to educate people, to advocate, of course, for eliminating all prejudice, but to educate people about racism. And the council really feels like the way to help solve the problem is to educate people and just kind of get people to look inward and accept that it is actually a problem, that there is bias in the world, because if we don't address that main core issue, we can't solve it. So we've been very active. We weren't in the march, but we were on the fringes of the march, and there's also a couple local councils that have been put together to talk about racism that I'm part of. So I think I'm on 4 councils that are now addressing racism, plus the one that we have at the Y.
Okay, so can you tell me a little bit about those other 4 councils?
They all have different focus. 2 of them are about racism and police intervention. one is just a group of women who, Black women. So as Black women, we think that we can help educate people. We've kind of been on the edge of social change for a lifetime. And so we're trying to figure out how we educate people around us so that we can help them to help educate people that they run into. So kind of all the same focus, but there's a lot of people out there talking about racism and how we can help people that don't understand that it is a problem, understand how it does affect our community.
Okay. So back to COVID. Has you been working the entire time, or have you been working from home part of it, or?
No, we've been in the building. I've been in the building the whole time. I have a core staff we actually had 10 people working in the building right away. And then as funds decreased, we did furlough some people. So, but I've been in the building the whole time. My child care director, of course, has been the whole time. And then we have one operations person that's been in the building every day and one cleaning person. So we take turns cleaning, myself included. We take turns sanitizing behind the kids as they rotate through the building to make sure that everybody's safe.
Okay. Other than work related, how has this pandemic affected you, do you think?
Personally, I am very, very cautious. I'm cautious by nature, but as soon as it was announced and we weren't sure what was going to happen, how you could get it, those kind of things, we closed down all services. I stopped going out. I now order my groceries. If I need something from a store, I try to order it online. I do curbside pickup. And that's because representing an organization, it's more pressure. I can't get sick because if I get sick and I've been in the building the whole time, then the whole operation shuts down. So personally, I've become very, very cautious. It doesn't feel bad though. I enjoy ordering my groceries. And I enjoy not going into stores. So I've become very cautious, and the people that work in our building, I've asked them to be cautious as well, even though things are opening back up. If there is a spike and one of us is infected, it doesn't just affect us and our families, it affects the community organization and the 70 children and families that we're providing services for.
Okay. Do you have anything to add about anything we've talked about thus far?
I do not.
Okay, well, thank you very much for participating.
Thank you.